You think being too nice will win people over? You think your kindness will make them respect you? No. Being too friendly is not a virtue. It's an open invitation for people to use you, to drain you, to walk all over you. And the worst part, you let them. But today, that stops. When you make yourself too available, too accessible, people begin to take you for granted. They assume that no matter what they do, no matter how they treat you, you will always be there. You will always answer the phone, always show up when they need you, always prioritize them, even when they never do the same for you. That's the cruel reality of human nature. People don't appreciate what they get too easily. Think about it. Why do people chase luxury? Why do they crave things that are rare, exclusive, and difficult to obtain? Because what is scarce is valued. What is too available is dismissed. That is exactly why you need to stop making yourself an open book for everyone. Stop letting people have full access to you without earning it. Have you ever noticed how you drop everything the moment someone calls? No matter what you're doing, you pick up. No matter how busy you are, you rearrange your schedule to fit theirs. But let me ask you, do they do the same for you? Do they make you feel like a priority, or do they only come to you when it's convenient for them? Imagine this. You have a friend who always calls you only when they need something. At first you don't mind because you care about them, but then it becomes a pattern. They don't check on you when you're struggling. They don't ask how your day was. They don't make an effort unless they need a favor. And yet you keep answering, you keep giving. And every time you do, you teach them that your time is not valuable, that you will always be available, no matter how they treat you. Look at the people you admire the most, the ones who command attention, respect, and admiration. Do they allow just anyone to walk into their lives and take their time for granted? No, they are selective. They are intentional. And because of that, people respect their presence. Now think about the person who always responds instantly, who always says yes, who never puts themselves first. That person gets ignored, used, and underappreciated because they are too available. Their presence is taken for granted, their kindness mistaken for weakness. This is why you must protect your energy. Stop answering every call. Stop saying yes to every request. Stop making yourself so available that people assume your time is worthless. Your time is the most valuable thing you own. The moment you start treating it as a privilege, others will too. Think of a cafe with long lines and a waiting list. People wait because they know the experience is worth it. Now, imagine a cafe with no line, no customer, nothing special. You wouldn't think twice about walking in, ordering, and leaving without a second thought. That's the difference between being exclusive and being too available. People desire what is hard to reach. There's a reason celebrities don't reply to every comment or answer every message. There's a reason powerful people don't allow just anyone into their space. They understand that value comes from scarcity. The less access people have to you, the more they will appreciate you when they do. It's the same in relationships. If you're always available, always saying yes, always making excuses for people's bad behavior, they will never fear losing you. They will never value you the way you deserve to be valued. But the moment you set boundaries, the moment you make it clear that your presence is earned, not given freely, everything changes. Look at the friends who are always there, always doing everything for everyone. They are the ones who get the least appreciation, the least respect. But the friend who is selective, the one who is hard to reach, the one who makes you feel like their time is precious, that's the friend everyone values. You don't need to be rude. You don't need to be arrogant. You just need to understand that if you keep giving unlimited access to people, they will never respect you the way they should. Make them earn it. Make them appreciate it. Make them understand that your time, your presence, and your energy are gifts, not something they can just take whenever they please. Being overly nice does not make you strong. It does not make you respected. It makes you invisible. The more you try to please everyone, the more they see you as ordinary. Because when you constantly adjust yourself to make others comfortable, you shrink. You start to disappear. And the world does not remember those who shrink. It remembers those who take up space unapologetically. Think about it. When you walk into a room, who do people notice first? The one who sits quietly, nodding, agreeing with everything, trying to be polite? Or the one who speaks with confidence, who stands firm in their beliefs, who isn't afraid to say no when necessary? The world does not reward those who blend in. It rewards those who own their presence. You can be kind, but you don't have to be excessively nice. There is a difference between kindness and over-niceness. Kindness is strength. It's a choice. It comes from confidence. Over-niceness, on the other hand, is fear. It comes from the need to be liked, to avoid confrontation, to make sure nobody feels uncomfortable. But what happens when you live that way? You give away your power. You make people feel like they can walk over you. You teach them that your feelings, your opinions, and your needs don't matter. Look at the people in your life. How many times have you said yes when you wanted to say no? How many times have you put others first while putting yourself last? How many times have you smiled when someone disrespected you just to avoid conflict? And where has that gotten you? Are you happier? Are you more respected? Or have you become the person people expect to be available, to be agreeable, to never push back? Imagine this, you're at work and your boss keeps piling extra tasks on you. You don't complain, you don't say you're overwhelmed. You just nod and take it. And what happens? You get more work while others do less. Because you have taught them that you will never push back. Now imagine the colleague who knows their limits, who says, I'd love to help, but I already have too much on my plate. That person is respected. Their time is valued. Not because they are better, but because they set the standard for how they should be treated. Think about relationships. If you are always the one making plans, always the one checking in, always the one giving without receiving, what message does that send? That you're desperate for their attention, that your presence is easy to obtain, that you will tolerate being treated as an afterthought. But the person who has boundaries, who's kind but firm, who does not tolerate disrespect, that is the person who is truly valued. Look at celebrities, leaders, successful people. Do they beg for approval? Do they try to please everyone? No. They know their worth. They respect themselves first, and because of that, others respect them too. There is a reason people are drawn to those who have standards. It's because confidence is magnetic. When you are overly nice, constantly agreeable, always putting others first, you don't stand out. You become just another person in the background. But the one who knows their worth, who is kind but firm, who does not let people take advantage of their kindness, that person commands attention. Have you ever noticed that people respect those who say less? The ones who are not always available, who do not give their energy to just anyone. That's because their presence has weight. They don't waste their words. They don't say yes to everything. They don't try to be everyone's favorite. And because of that, they become unforgettable. Being overly nice makes people comfortable, but it does not make them respect you. They know you will always agree. They know you will always adjust. They know you will never challenge them, and that is why they overlook you. But the moment you stop trying to be liked by everyone, the moment you stand up and say, I matter too, everything changes. Your presence should not be something people take for granted. It should be something they value. And that starts with you. Being friendly is a beautiful trait, but when it comes at the cost of your boundaries, it turns into a burden. You were not put on this earth to be a doormat for others, to wipe their feet on. You were not meant to sacrifice your peace just to make others comfortable. The truth is, the moment you allow your friendliness to override your boundaries, you give people permission to take advantage of you. Think about it. When was the last time you said yes to something you didn't want to do, just because you didn't want to seem rude? When was the last time you let someone talk to you in a way that made you uncomfortable, just because you didn't want to be seen as difficult? Every time you do that, you tell people that your boundaries are flexible, that your feelings are secondary, that their comfort matters more than your self-respect. Imagine this. A friend constantly calls you in the middle of the night with their problems. At first you pick up every time because you want to be there for them. But then it becomes a pattern. They don't check in on you when you need them. They don't ask if you're okay. They don't care if you're exhausted the next day. And yet you keep answering because you don't want to seem unfriendly. But ask yourself, if they truly cared about you, would they put you in that position? Would they expect you to sacrifice your well-being just so they can have a listening ear at their convenience? Friendliness is not about bending until you break. It's about choosing when, how, and to whom you give your energy. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to walk away from conversations that drain you. You are allowed to set limits on what you will and won't tolerate. And the people who truly respect you will never be offended by your boundaries. Look at the strongest, most successful people. Are they cold? No. Are they rude? No. But do they allow just anyone to cross their lines, to drain their energy, to demand their time? Absolutely not. They know that in order to maintain their strength, they have to protect their space. They are friendly, but not at the cost of their peace. Have you ever noticed that the people who demand the most from you are the same ones who give the least? The ones who expect you to always be available, to always say yes, to always be understanding, are the same ones who disappear when you need them. And yet, you still show up for them, thinking that being friendly means being endlessly giving. But that is not friendship, that is self-abandonment. Picture yourself at a store. You see a beautiful item behind a glass case locked away. You can't just grab it, you have to ask for assistance, prove that you're serious about buying it, and sometimes even pay a high price for it. Why? Because it is valuable. Now think of a cheap item in a bargain bin. Available to everyone, easily grabbed, easily discarded. That's the difference between having boundaries and having none. When you make yourself too accessible, too easy to take, people start treating you like that bargain item. Being friendly does not mean letting people cross lines that should never be crossed. It does not mean being available 24/7 to people who wouldn't do the same for you. It does not mean allowing people to speak to you in ways that make you feel small just because you don't want to seem rude. Friendliness should be a bridge, not a prison. It should connect you to the right people, not trap you in relationships where you feel undervalued and unappreciated. You can be warm, kind, and generous without allowing people to misuse your good heart. Watch how people react when you start setting boundaries. Some will respect you more, some will get angry. And that's when you'll know who truly values you and who just valued the access they had to you. Those who get upset were never there for you, they were there for what you could offer them. And once they realize they can no longer control you with guilt, they will either leave or change the way they treat you. You do not owe anyone constant access to your time, your energy, or your kindness. The right people will cherish your presence without expecting you to break yourself in half to please them. The wrong people will guilt you, manipulate you, and make you feel like you're being mean when all you're doing is respecting yourself. Your friendliness should be a gift, not an obligation. It should be something people appreciate, not something they expect. The moment you start treating it as a privilege, others will too. The more you give, the less they appreciate. That's the harsh reality of life. People rarely value what they get too easily, too freely, too often. They become blind to the effort, the sacrifice, the love behind your generosity. The more you pour into them, the more they drink without ever stopping to wonder, who's refilling the cup? Think about it. Have you ever given your heart and soul to someone only to feel like they started taking you for granted? In the beginning, they were grateful. They appreciated the effort, the love, the kindness. But as time passed, they stopped saying thank you. They started expecting it. What once felt like a special gift became an unspoken obligation. It's like giving someone a ride every single day. At first they say, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. But after a while, they just hop in the car without a word. They no longer see it as a favor, they see it as something that is supposed to happen. And if one day you don't show up, they don't ask if you're okay. They don't wonder if you needed a break. No, they just get upset. Because in their mind, it wasn't kindness anymore, it was a given. People don't value unlimited things. That's why diamonds are expensive and sand is everywhere. What's rare is valuable. What's always available is ignored. When you give and give without limits, You turn yourself into something people assume will always be there. And nothing kills appreciation faster than assumption. Imagine working in an office where you always go the extra mile. You stay late, you take on extra work, you never complain. At first your boss praises you, but then something changes. The praise stops, the gratitude fades, and before you know it, they expect you to do double the work without question. But the moment you say, no, I can't, suddenly you're the problem. Why? Because people get comfortable with how much you give, and they don't notice the weight you're carrying until you decide to put it down. Have you ever wondered why the people who do the most for others are often the ones who feel the loneliest? It's because the world teaches us to give, but it doesn't teach people to appreciate. You open your heart, your time, your energy, thinking that people will see your efforts and return the same. But the more you give, the more they expect. The more available you are, the less special your presence feels. It's just like a favorite song. The first time you hear it, it gives you chills. It feels magical, but if you play it on repeat all day, every day, eventually it loses its magic. It's not that the song changed, it's that you got used to it. And that's what happens when you give too much of yourself to people who don't deserve it. You become background noise in their lives. Think about relationships, romantic, friendships, family. The one who loves the most, gives the most, sacrifices the most is often the one who gets hurt the most. Because in trying to prove your love, you forget to make them prove theirs. When you always show up, always fix things, always put others first, they start assuming you have no limits. They start thinking your kindness is endless. But the truth is, even the strongest hearts grow tired. Have you ever noticed how people chase the ones who don't give them much, but ignore the ones who give them everything? It's not because they love the ones who give less. It's because they value what they have to work for. The harder something is to get, the more precious it feels. That's why people respect those who demand respect. That's why people admire those who set boundaries. You might think that by giving more, you'll make people love you more. But love doesn't work that way. Love isn't measured by how much you sacrifice. The right people will love you for who you are, not for what you give. And the wrong people will take everything you offer and still ask for more. The harshest truth? People remember the times you say no more than the hundreds of times you said yes. You could give and give for years, but the moment you stop, that's when they notice. That's when they suddenly realize how much you were doing. But by then it's too late, because you're already drained, exhausted, empty. So ask yourself, are you giving because you want to, or because you're afraid of what will happen if you stop? If the people in your life only appreciate you when you're bending over backwards, then they don't deserve you. If they only see your worth when you pull away, then they were never truly valuing you. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stop giving so much. Watch who still stands beside you. Watch who still values you when you're not constantly proving yourself. Watch who stays even when you stop making things easy for them. Because those are the people who truly deserve your energy. Not everyone deserves your energy. Not everyone deserves access to your mind, your kindness, your time. Because energy is not infinite. It's not something you can keep giving away without consequence. Every time you invest yourself in someone who doesn't value it, you drain a part of yourself that you will never get back. Think about a phone battery. If you leave your apps running in the background, if you open too many windows, if you let unnecessary things consume power, your battery dies faster. And life is no different. Every person you allow into your space is either charging you or draining you. They are either adding value to your life or stealing it. And the truth is, most people are just taking without even realizing how much they are costing you. Have you ever noticed how some people only call you when they need something? When they're lonely, when they need advice, when their life is falling apart? Suddenly your phone is ringing. But when you need them, silence. Not a word, not a single message. And yet you still give, you still answer, you still show up, thinking that maybe one day they will appreciate it. But they won't. Because they never had to earn your energy in the first place. It was free. And what comes free is never valued. Imagine pouring water into a cup with a hole in the bottom. No matter how much you pour, it will never be full. No matter how much you give, it will never be enough. Because some people are not built to hold your energy. They are not capable of respecting what you bring to the table. They just take, drink, and demand more. The biggest mistake you can make is believing that just because you have a good heart, everyone else does too. Some people are drawn to your light not because they want to appreciate it, but because they want to use it. They see your kindness as an opportunity. They see your generosity as a weakness. And the moment you stop serving their needs, they will walk away without a second thought. Have you ever had someone in your life who constantly drains you with their problems, their negativity, their chaos? Every conversation is about them. Every situation revolves around their issues. And you, being the person you are, keep trying to help, to fix, to heal. But have you ever asked yourself, who's healing you? Who's fixing you when you're broken? Who's pouring into you the way you pour into others? Not everyone deserves your time. Not everyone deserves the space in your mind that you give them. Some people are simply distractions. They come into your life, waste your energy, and leave you wondering why you feel so tired all the time. But the truth is, it's not just physical exhaustion, it's mental and emotional depletion from carrying people who were never meant to be your responsibility. Think about the most successful people you know. Do they entertain every conversation? Do they waste their time on meaningless drama? No, because they understand that their energy is precious. They understand that who they give their time to determines the quality of their life. And you need to understand the same. Your energy is your currency. Spend it wisely. If you wouldn't give your money to just anyone, why give your energy so freely? Why waste your mental and emotional resources on people who don't invest the same in you? If someone makes you feel drained, confused, or unappreciated every time you interact with them, that is a sign. A sign that they don't deserve your energy. Have you ever been in a room full of people and still felt completely alone? That's because presence is not the same as connection. Just because someone is in your life doesn't mean they belong there. Just because someone talks to you doesn't mean they deserve your attention. You don't owe anyone your energy. You don't owe anyone unlimited access to your mind, your heart, your soul. Think of your energy like an exclusive event. Not everyone gets a ticket. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. And the moment you start protecting your energy, something amazing happens. You attract better people. You attract those who respect you. You attract those who understand your value. Because when you stop entertaining what drains you, you make room for what fulfills you. Your peace is priceless. Your mental clarity is priceless. Your emotional well-being is priceless. And if someone disrupts that, if someone makes you feel less, if someone takes more than they give, it's time to cut them off. Not with anger, not with bitterness, but with certainty, with the knowledge that your energy is sacred and not everyone deserves it. Being too approachable is like leaving your front door open in the middle of the night. You might think you're welcoming good company, but in reality, you're inviting anything and everything inside. People with good intentions and people who only come to take. When you make yourself too accessible, you lose the ability to filter who enters your space. And the truth is, not everyone who walks in deserves to be there. Have you ever noticed how people treat the things that are rare and exclusive? A VIP event, a luxury brand, a highly sought after individual. There's an air of respect and value around them. People don't just walk in, they wait, they prove themselves, they put in the effort to be part of it. Now compare that to something that's available to everyone at all times. It loses its significance. It becomes common, replaceable, easy to take for granted. That's what happens when you're too open, too available, too willing to give your time to just anyone. You attract people who see you as an easy option, not a valuable presence. People who don't respect your time because they never had to earn it. And before you know it, you're surrounded by individuals who bring nothing but noise, drama, and distraction into your life. Think about your own experiences. How many times have you been there for people who barely acknowledge your efforts? How many times have you answered calls, given advice, dropped everything for someone, only for them to disappear the moment you need something? That's because they never valued you in the first place. You were just available. And availability without boundaries invites misuse. It's just like a free concert in the park. Anyone can walk in, take a seat, enjoy the music, and leave when they want. No one thinks twice about it. But when that same concert requires a ticket, a price, an exclusive invitation, suddenly people are willing to stand in line to prove they belong, to respect the space. The way you present yourself dictates how people treat you. If you're always there, always saying yes, always allowing anyone in, don't be surprised when the wrong people start to take advantage. There's a reason why the most powerful people in the world are not easily accessible. It's not arrogance, it's not selfishness, it's self-respect. They know that their time, energy, and presence are valuable, and they don't waste it on meaningless interactions. They don't open their doors to just anyone, because they understand that being selective isn't rude. It's necessary. Look around your life right now. Are you surrounded by people who uplift you, who bring value, who inspire you? Or are you constantly drained by those who only take, complain, and expect without giving? If the latter sounds familiar, it's because you've been too accessible. You've allowed too many people in without requiring them to prove their worth. Not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. Not everyone who talks to you deserves your time. Some people approach you not because they appreciate you, but because they see an opportunity. They see someone who won't say no, someone who will always be available, and they will keep taking until you have nothing left to give. Have you ever wondered why some people keep ending up in toxic relationships, unhealthy friendships, or draining social circles? It's because they haven't learned the power of being selective. When you allow the wrong people into your life, they don't just take your time, they take your peace, your energy, your confidence. They leave you second-guessing yourself, exhausted, and wondering why you feel so empty. Being too approachable doesn't make you kind, it makes you vulnerable. There is strength in mystery. There is power in making people earn access to you. Think of the people you admire most. Do they let just anyone into their world? No. They set standards. They choose who they allow close. And as a result, they maintain control over their life and energy. The harsh truth is that the wrong people will always find their way to an open door. They will see your kindness as an opportunity, your availability as a weakness. But when you raise your standards, when you make people put in the effort, when you show that your time is valuable, the wrong ones will fade away. They won't bother because they were never truly there for you in the first place. It's not about closing yourself off. It's about making sure that those who enter your life do so with respect, appreciation, and purpose. The moment you stop letting just anyone in, you make space for the right ones. The ones who see your worth, who respect your energy, who add to your life instead of taking from it. Your time is not just valuable, it is a luxury. And like any luxury, it should never be given away carelessly. Think of the most exclusive things in life. A rare diamond, a limited edition designer bag, a luxury car with only a handful in existence. What do all these things have in common? They are not easily available. They are not given to just anyone. And because of that, people chase them. They desire them. They respect them. Now think about how you treat your own time. Do you give it away freely? Do you let anyone take as much of it as they want? Do you spend hours entertaining people who don't value you? If your time was a luxury brand, would it still hold its worth? Or have you allowed it to become a free giveaway, something that anyone can have access to without effort? People respect what is scarce. The moment something becomes too available, it loses its value. This is why people chase after things they can't easily have. This is why VIP sections exist. This is why the rarest items are the most expensive. If you start treating your time like a luxury, you will notice a shift. The people who never valued your presence before will suddenly start noticing. The ones who took your time for granted will start missing it. Imagine someone calling you every time they need something, advice, a favor, your emotional energy, but when you need them, they're too busy. You pick up their calls, you reply to their messages instantly, you adjust your schedule for them. And yet when you need something, they don't do the same. Why? Because they have learned that your time is not a priority, that you will always be available, that they don't need to value something that is always within reach. Now imagine a different scenario. Someone calls you, and instead of picking up immediately, you wait. You respond when you are ready, not when they demand it. You don't rush to be available. Suddenly, they notice. Suddenly, they start valuing your time more. Because now it's not something they can just take. It's something they have to earn. Luxury brands don't beg for attention. They don't chase customers. They don't offer themselves to just anyone. And yet, people line up for them. They wait. They work hard to afford them. That's exactly how you need to treat your time. The moment you start acting like you are always available, you teach people that your time is not worth much. But the moment you make it clear that your time is precious, that it is not to be wasted, that it is something that must be respected, everything changes. Think about your daily life. How often do you waste time on things that do not serve you? How many conversations do you engage in that drain you? How many people do you give your time to, knowing they would never do the same for you? If you were to add up all the minutes, all the hours spent on things that do not elevate you, do you realize how much of your life you are giving away for free? Successful people understand this. They know that their time is the most valuable thing they have. That's why they don't waste it. That's why they are selective with who they allow into their space. They don't entertain pointless arguments. They don't attend every event just to be polite. They don't pick up every phone call because they know that time, once given, can never be returned. Every second you spend on someone or something that does not add value to your life is a second you will never get back. If someone wastes your money, you can earn it back. If someone damages your car, you can get it repaired. But if someone wastes your time, it is gone forever. And yet, so many people give it away freely, as if it were unlimited. Think of a moment when you spent time on someone who did not deserve it. Maybe you sat for hours listening to someone complain, knowing they never listen when you speak. Maybe you kept giving chances to someone who never appreciated them. Maybe you attended an event you didn't want to just to be polite. Now think of what you could have done with that time instead. How many things could you have accomplished? How much peace could you have had? How much closer could you have been to your goals? Your time is your most powerful currency. It is more valuable than money, more valuable than material possessions, more valuable than anything you can own. The way you spend it defines your future. If you spend it wisely, you create a life